Mount Carmel Caravan are the standard for high school football in Illinois. 17 state championships is not just history, it's pure dominance. After coming off a perfect 14-win season and a fourth consecutive state championship, we had the privilege of speaking with head football coach Jordan Lynch to talk about the culture, the commitment, and the championship mindset behind the Mount Carmel Caravan.
This is our main gym. This was built 2005. This whole new kind of this wing, as I'll show you, that went in. But bleachers, home varsity basketball court, bleachers roll out. Games are played here. Up top, off-season baseball, batting cages roll down. Get some hitting practice. We got a track upstairs, not a full-length track, but a track to get some work done for our track team. Then, as you see, that's the state championship wall. That's the wall you want to be on at the end of the day, right? So all the state championships in Mount Carmel history. The 2025 banner's just not up yet, but it'll be placed. We might have to move the clock there or so, but should be placed.
Running out of room.
Baseball, hockey, wrestling. We got one in basketball, so we've been pretty close the last few years in basketball, so trying to get that.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go this way. So this right here, athletic office. We have our athletic director, then Miss Mann that kind of sits at the desk, kind of runs the show. She's the boss lady of the whole thing. But kind of coach's office is in the back. This is where,
Yo, what's up? How y'all doing?
Emmett Dowling, star quarterback.
Yo, what up, man? How you feeling?
Good. This is kind of where all the work goes in right here, though. This is my office. We got a new plaque coming on. BSN kind of makes us a plaque, all the state championships. Then just got some memorabilia throughout the years, some state championship stuff, and this is kind of the war room right here, though.
Yeah, nice. You got your NIU?
I got some NIU stuff. Here's Roman right here, Roman Ikabuke.
How you feeling, bro? Good to meet you. Good.
Heisman semifinalists that kind of made that been here throughout the years. Donovan McNabb, guy I mentioned that the kids have no idea about. Then myself, they really don't recognize me with that strong hairline though.
Oh, wow. I don't even recognize you. That's crazy. That's dope though.
Yeah.
Heisman finalists.
I got to go.
A few things here. Kids are kind of moved out. We share it, but this is the varsity locker room, man. Kind of what it looks like. And this is the stuff right here that people don't see, though, right? This is how we got gear and how to dress for game day, right? This is what you should look like on game day, so no one sticks out. There's no individual people. And here's the other stuff, too. We don't only talk about game day. We talk about practice. This is how you dress to practice. Everyone's got the same cleats, same socks, jerseys, gloves, everything. So no one sticks out, right? There's no individuals here. This is where it all starts, and that goes a long way in winning games.
No, it definitely does, and you don't really see too much of that. Like, man, we done been to some places and practices where they come out with pajama pants on.
Yeah.
And it's something that I hate so much, and it just shows like that kind of structure that you need to be successful. And I think it kind of translates even over into like the collegiate level, where it's like that's kind of how it is at the college level, where it's a standard and it's a look, and you have to be, in some type of order. So that's
Absolutely.
cool to see that at the high school level.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever walked through Mount Carmel with this.
No, I never have.
So guys, this is the old building right here. This is where majority of the classrooms are. The brick and mortar is old as 1900. So it's been up for a while. We'll walk in, we'll peek our head, see the classroom, see kind of the main office, and the alumni gym too. That is, when you walk in, you'll smell it. You can just feel it. Yeah, Mount Carmel, obviously all boys school, right? 600 all boys go here. Kind of the main office. Only time you're in there is if you're tardy or you're late, kind of get a late slip.
You don't want to see none of your guys in there.
Yeah,
right?
there's some kind of older trophy case that kind of keep up.
Treble champion.
Treble, 2000, was that when it was at Soldier Field, 2001?
Who won the Prep Bowl this year? Was it Ignatius?
Oh, Ignatius, yep, over MP.
So this is the main floor. Everything's remodeled now, but this is kind of a mural of the history of Mount Carmel throughout the years.
Yeah.
Nothing but love. Got some guys. We got Jamari Brown right here doing some hard work. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
And our success rate, our graduation rate is super high. But this is a board that's always needs to be showed off. This is a class of 2025. Not only athletes, everyone in the class of 25 and where they went to college and where we're sending kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. Yo, what's up? Who's that, Braden?
Braden Jones
what's up,
down
Braden?
there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is yeah, and I'm glad that we get to see this part of it because we talk a lot about athletics, but again, like this is why somebody would go out of their way to have their kid come here because, as well as athletics, academically, like look at all of these young men going off into these different universities, like it's like almost like you send them here, that they're more than likely not going to be successful. So
Right. And we hook them up with the trades also jumping in the union if they're not going to go. So
yeah.
So here's our alumni gym. It's usually they play one varsity basketball game here a year. The movie Blue Chips was filmed in here. Shaquille O'Neal was just here. They do commercials.
Yeah, I remember. I did see
This
that.
is awesome, man.
Oh yeah, just
You can smell it when you walk in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, this smell like an old gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, this smell
Yeah.
like an old gym.
But
No, I think I like this better than the new one.
yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
So I know we do some of the Caravan Tough workouts in here. We come in here. It's kind of like a hot box in here, right? Big thing that goes on in here now is Fight Night. Fight Night's been going on for 75 or so years. Fight Night is,
somebody told us about.
Yeah,
it's a
they did.
huge fundraiser for us at Mount Carmel. But kids do intramural boxing. They sign up in weight classes. We get trainers, Rocco and Jack and Clem. The old guys that kind of box them, take them through training, and if you keep winning, you win intramurals. We do Fight Night, which is end of April on a Saturday night, and we pack this gym with 10,000 people. We have a huge ring that goes in, and kids duke it out. We got about 13 bouts. Kids duke it out with headgear. It's all safe, but
Crazy.
you have some really good fights in here. Then this is kind of the Ring of Honor up top here. These are the state champions in wrestling. Right, so like Seth Mendoza, all the way to the right there, just graduated. He won 4 in a row. So this used to be the wrestling arena until we moved into another building.
This is nice.
Yeah, very nice. What they got going on right here?
That's a golf simulator. That's my baby.
Get some swings in
so
your downtime.
We had a donor kind of donate that for us and fire it up. And sometimes gym classes come in here. And
Okay.
but, yeah.
That's dope.
Told you, guys are celebrities, bro. Kids are celebrities. Love you.
Yeah, this is dope though. Like I said, this is the most in-depth review I've got in Mount Carmel ever.
Most diverse school in Chicago, man. We get kids from all different types of backgrounds, and that's the other thing. That's try getting kids from all different types of backgrounds. Believe in one goal at the end of the day. Get them here, and you got 4 years to make that work. So we'll take you over. I'll show you the trophy case. So here's all the state championship trophies. The newest ones at Soldier Field, they're honoring us at halftime, all the state championship teams. So the Bears just took it, but this Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to come to that actually. Oh, I should be there.
With, on the Bears game?
Yeah.
At the Bears game? Okay.
Yeah.
For the,
Was
Supposed to be
play the Browns?
negative
It's the
20.
Browns?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all the way from football, the wrestling, the baseball, to some runner-up stuff.
Yeah. I think somebody has said they like the older trophies or the new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went to more like the NCAA looking trophies
Yeah.
now, but yeah, the old ones are pretty cool.
Crazy.
Then here's the state championship rings. I don't even know if this is open, but peek in there.
What we got to do to get an honorary ring?
Yeah, right now you guys deserve one for sure.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I don't see how anybody could be mad at this,
So right down the hall here, it's called Centennial Hallway. But just kind of some good stuff. Another extension of trophy cases in the history. But here's that thing I talked about, fight night, right? That's the alumni gym. We packed that place.
That's crazy.
Kids kind of duke it out.
Sitting on the ledge and everything,
Right.
We're going to have to try to come to that one.
Pretty cool. I'll let you guys know. End of April, huge fundraiser. But kids are trained year round and super safe kind of environment. But it's fun though, man.
Yeah.
Things get pretty competitive.
I bet.
School used to be called St. Cyril's in the 1900s. So just some old photos of kind of the history of the school.
Goes through a whole timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. The Donovan McNabb little.
Memorabilia.
Yep. Also, what I love, this is one of my favorite photos though. Like, it used to be called St. Cyril's, right, in 1900s. Now it's Mount Carmel, but this building right here with this, that's all it is right there. You're looking at it, you know. So, pretty
That's
cool,
dope,
man.
Yeah.
Here's the old gym we were just at. That was taken in 1920. You know. Look at this.
What's that? Yeah, I was wondering, like, what's that?
City championship basketball game.
That's crazy.
We defeated South Shore 42-33.
Look at what the city championship looked like. Wish we could get it back to that.
Right.
Like, I always had this idea, vision of like the
last year was
state
like
championship
that.
being the Soldier Field, you know,
Right.
packed out Soldier Field, you know.
Soldier Field, United Center.
No, it was for football, Soldier Field, like,
Football,
yeah.
football, yeah. Got you. Yeah. Very rich history.
Yeah.
Yep. Then you got on this wall is all the presidents and principals during the Mount Carmel history and time here.
We got Scott Tabernacle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Since 2019, so relatively new.
Yep.
I think he's on the legislative commission as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Definitely appreciate you showing us around.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, okay, now it brings it full circle.
Yeah, yep.
Back to where we was at.
Did you want to see the field? Do you want to walk out there? Or
You think we need to see
I don't think we need to see
No, you're all good.
we didn't see the field.
might want to get the, so these right here, these are kind of the bigger name guys that went on and played professional here at Mount Carmel. But these balls are Simeon Rice. His when they won the Super Bowl, he donated these balls back, the 50th Super Bowl. So, but you guys like Antoine Walker, Chris Chelios, Donovan McNabb, you know, Furjanic, Cushing, you know. Then you got Alec Thomas, who's a starting center fielder for the Arizona Diamondbacks right now.
Okay.
He's a dog.
Fire.
Yeah.
every sport to like different sports.
Yep.
Just one. No, this is very nice.
You even got some hockey. Do y'all have a hockey team?
Yeah, we do it. Yeah, this was done a few years ago. Everything's kind of customized.
Yeah.
What's so great though is like we use the field also in the summertime because you got 140 kids in here. You know what I mean? It's you got to utilize the space in the gym or go on the field. But it's nice to open doors, run on the field, and you were at that Rice game when we played Rice.
Yeah, I was at Rice.
Yeah.
I was at Rice, and I was also at the Lincoln Way East.
Lincoln
game.
Way
I didn't
East.
post anything from now. I was like, "There's no point."
No, yeah. The
I might post something later, but
atmosphere was live though.
Yeah,
it's
most
great,
definitely.
man.
What was your favorite game of the season? Like,
Oh man, it's. I mean, it's hard not to like the Moeller game, but anything at home, right?
Yeah.
You know, beating Brother Rice at home.
That was the most the stadium has ever filled up to.
Right.
The Rice game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beating Loyola here in the first round of the playoffs. You know, beating Lincoln Way East. That was a high-level opponent in the state. So.
you guys didn't even beat them. You guys
Destroyed.
Yeah, you know, we came out fast. You know what I mean? You came out fast with a little momentum. Football's such a momentum sport, man. You get a little momentum, especially with the kids we have and the players we have. You can stack up some points pretty quick, you know. So.
Absolutely.
First off, I want to start by thanking you guys all year, man. You guys have been a huge platform for these high school kids and in high school football, especially the state of Illinois. So you guys just showing love and support and, you know, especially for these kids, but most importantly for, you know, Mount Carmel also. So thank you guys for everything you do. And also thank you guys for traveling, you know, down here to Mount Carmel. I know it's not easy, but thanks for coming here, showing some love.
No problem. Anytime. Like, we come here for games all the
Yeah.
time. As you mentioned, we showed a lot of spotlight in Mount Carmel and many other schools in the area. But appreciate you for joining. You know, I think we reached out like a while back trying to get you on, but obviously football comes first. And, you know, with y'all just winning the 4th state championship in a row, obviously there's a lot of work that goes behind a lot of that. And we're going to get into that on the episode. But like I said again, thank you for having for coming on.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get started, I know this was long overdue. Just to get to know me a little bit. I'm a natural born hater until I get to know somebody. So I got to know you guys a little bit. You guys came, showed some love, like I said, and this was long overdue for sure. So we owe it to you guys.
So yeah, we definitely appreciate it. And it's funny that you said that, because me and Trey, we always had conversations like, man, sometimes we get good feedback and sometimes it's bad, and we just never know, you know. But I think the more people hear our takes and what we're doing, they know that, you know, we just mean good. And some of it is a mixture of entertainment, other is informational. So yeah, we appreciate you being comfortable with allowing us to come down to Mount Carmel, come to the facility, and get you on the podcast. I think a lot of people are going to appreciate this one.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's get it going.
Yep.
Let's get it going. So I want to start off with this. My bad.
Yeah, you good.
We watched the podcast, the Husky Guys, where you mentioned that a lot of your players didn't know you played football.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's this day and age, right? These kids, I don't know if they watch full games. They watch highlights.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
they watch
exactly.
highlights.
More
And
short form content.
I don't even know if they're watching other people. They're watching their own highlights these days, you know? So yeah, I mentioned on the Husky Boys podcast of Quentin Burrell always comes in and he goes, "Coach, you were a pretty good running back," you know? And I was like, you know, but, you know, I had to kind of explain and show him some stuff too. You know, I played quarterback. I threw for 3,000 yards, you know, so, but that's this day and age kids, you know, they don't know who Donovan McNabb or Simeon Rice is.
That's actually insane.
Yeah, it's, and I get it, right? It's, it seems like yesterday those guys were playing, but those guys were playing before some of these kids were even born.
Yeah,
Right.
So if you really think about it, yeah. Even when Donovan McNabb was in the Super Bowl, so
Yeah, definitely. Kids out there need to be students of the game. I think it's important as well. But like you said, they young, they just care about what they care about. So, but interesting thing, like I said, you a lot of the kids said that they don't know you play football, don't know that you've done in a resume that you have, and you're one of the greatest, you know, players in NIU history, if not the best player in NIU history, one of the best football players in history. You are a Heisman finalist coming out of the MAC, which is like uncommon. When you see Heisman winners, they're usually at, you know, the P5 schools, the Alabamas, the Georgias. So you really did something that was rare at that time. But I just want to give a couple of your stats. When I was doing my notes, I'm like, dude, this is a lot of stuff to go over. So I'm gonna just give a brief on some of the stuff that you've done. You had stints with the Bears and the Edmonton Eskimos. For your career at NIU, you were 24-4 as a starter at NIU. You hold 3 single game and 16 single season, 6 career NIU records. You set 5 NCAA FBS records for quarterback rushing. You accounted for 100 career touchdowns, 51 passing, 48 rushing, 1 receiving. In your ranks, you rank number 2 in NIU career total offense, number 3 in NIU all-time rushing, and you're top 10 in 24 different NIU career statistical categories. And that's just a brief of the things that you got to do at NIU. And I want to get into this, kind of a mixture of what college football is now versus what it was then. When you went into NIU, your role wasn't, I'm coming in and I'm starting right away. You didn't, and in your mind, I'm sure it wasn't a thought of like, oh, I'm going to get out of here, I'm going to transfer. You redshirted your first year, you were back up 2 years, and then you broke out for the last 2. So what kind of was your thinking going into that kind of situation where you're sitting and you don't see the instant gratification, you know?
Yeah, that's this day and age of football. And when I played at NIU, it was 12 years ago, you know, when I finished up my career. But I went through 3 different head coaches. Not a lot of people know that. I had 4 different quarterback coaches in 5 years, and I had 3 different offensive coordinators, right, at NIU. This day and age, kids get up and they leave, right? Kids want instant gratification these days. They want instant results. And no one, and it's the kids, and it's the coaching out there, right? It's what have you done for me lately? So I get it. The coaches got to win, right? So you got to hit the transfer portal. But back then when I was playing, there was a foundation. There's a foundation of these college teams and these programs, right? Developing is a huge piece. And I went to my kind of journey, my story when I got to NIU. I went to a 1-day camp going into my junior year. I was told at NIU that they weren't going to take me a quarterback, right? They were kind of moving on and going in a different direction. I remember them coming in the building, watching me work out, thinking I was going to get an offer. They were in love with me. They went a different direction, offered one of my teammates when I was here, and haven't heard from them since. So I remember it was a Friday night light camp at NIU, and I was actually taking a nap. And my dad woke me up, and he's like, "Hey, let's go to NIU. They got a one-day camp. Let's go out there and let's prove them wrong." And I gave him a hard time, right? Eventually, he ended up dragging me in the car. We went out there. I played quarterback, I played running back, I played safety, played receiver. Before we got back in the car, Jerry Kill was the head coach at the time at NIU, gave me a call and offered me a scholarship. I talked it over. Coach Frank at the time was my high school coach. Ended up committing the next day. So I had one Division I scholarship, right? Coach that believed in me. So I had Jerry Kill that kind of recruited me, believed in me. Went to NIU. I was doing a hybrid. I was a seventh quarterback, no lie, seventh quarterback on the depth chart. I played safety, moved over to running back a little bit. Before you know it, they had no other chance but to keep me at quarterback because guys got ineligible, guys got kicked out, guys ended up leaving and just stopped playing football and injuries, right? So by my redshirt freshman year, I was number 2 on the depth chart. Right? I was 2 on the depth chart. Jerry Kill kind of put me in a position to succeed. He was developing me. He gave me some packages. So I had a chance to kind of develop and learn from a quarterback named Chandler Harnish that ended up getting drafted, and that was ahead of me. So that was the journey early on. Kill ended up leaving and going to Minnesota. Dave Dorn ends up taking over, and I was going in my junior year. This is supposed to be my year because Chandler Harnish ended up graduating. And so here I am again. I got to prove myself all over again. And so, I stuck there, developed, ended up starting for 2 years, right? Kids want to start for 4 years, and I get it. Being a competitor, you walk in the doors, you want to play football right off the bat. You want to get on the field. But sometimes that's not the best for you, for overall development and growth, right? So I know I was grateful for Jerry Kill recruit me, Dave Dorn for sticking with me, then at the end Rod Carey for really believing in me and giving me the keys to the car my senior year and starting. So it all paid off. And you got to get lucky during this whole process also, right? I'd be a fool to say that. Sure, I have talent and I worked my tail off, but I got lucky in the process. And it was had some great runs at NIU, but that's kind of the journey and the story there of just kind of sitting as a backup, waiting patiently, working my tail off, and it all paid off.
And that's where that underdog story that you talk about comes from, is that time at NIU, or was it even time before that you felt you was an underdog?
Yeah, no, that time going into NIU is really kind of the underdog story, right? One Division I offer. I've been told no kind of my whole journey in high school, that I'll never play quarterback from either fans, coaches, or some parents or whatever it is. So just kept chipping away, and great things happen when you kind of stick to the plan and believe in yourself, and kind of as everyone always talks about this day, betting on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And so you got the chance to play in the Orange Bowl. And I kind of want to segue this a little bit into now what's going on in the climate of college football. What are your thoughts on bowl games now? Because there's been a lot of controversy around Notre Dame and them opting out of the bowl game. They missed the national championship. What did kind of the bowls mean to you at that time versus what you think they mean now?
Yeah, the bowl game was huge back then for sure. It's I just remember just getting bowl eligible and going bowling, as they called it. Was huge for the school and the program. You got to play other schools from different conferences. You got to visit different parts of the United States, and you got to spend a week. You got to spend not even a week. You got those bowl practices were huge for developmental practices. Then you got to spend a week, whatever city that was, with your teammates. So you got another week together with the brothers on your team, right? So not even talking football-wise, just spending those weeks together as a team is huge, right? In the building and going forward. It just seems like this day and age, it's I think, one, they're going to start expanding the playoffs.
100%. We was talking about that the other day.
They're going to expand the playoffs, and you're going to see a lot more teams that don't get in the playoffs opt out, right? And they can keep their bowl games, but they're going to start letting teams in with, 5 wins or 4 wins, teams that don't even deserve to be in the bowl. So they got to kind of figure it out. I've retweeted lately and posted on Instagram Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. I think he's got one of the best mindsets out there, and there's a reason why their program's successful, right? He's accountable. He holds himself and his team accountable of why they're not in the playoffs, right? And he talked about their loss at Tennessee. He goes, everything was in our control. We didn't take care of what we needed to take care of, and that's one of the reasons why we're not in the playoff. And they're super excited to spend, a few more weeks together, and they're going to play Iowa in the whatever bowl game that is. But I think it's a great mindset, and at the end of the day, you get to play football, man. How can you opt out and not play football?
Exactly. Anytime you step on the field, you should be excited, regardless what type of game it is.
For sure.
I want to ask, so going back to when you went to the NIU camp, just to backtrack a little bit, you said your dad mentioned it to you. Did your dad play football growing up?
Yeah, jeez. He says he played football. So you have to see that film. No, he was a baseball player growing up. But I got my two parents that are loving and supporting, and want the best for their kids. He dragged me out to that camp, and he's always believed in me. Sometimes you got to have someone believe in you before you can actually see it and believe in yourself, right? So I had parents that always done that, and that's where my dad was coming from. Of, hey man, let's prove these people wrong, right? Let's get out there. Let's get these guys to get eyes on you and these coaches to get eyes on you, and ended up paying off.
I was talking to Trey when we were here for the Brother Rice game. We got a chance to meet your parents, and I kind of wanted to get into that as far as like you went to Mount Carmel. Your brother Justin went to Mount Carmel, but you have your oldest brother actually went to Brother Rice. Right. And so what kind of went into you guys coming to Mount Carmel, or even him going to Brother Rice? Like, was it set already that you all were coming here? Has your family been coming to Mount Carmel? Like, what is kind of the history there, or did it start with you guys?
Yeah, my older brother ended up going to Brother Rice. He didn't play sports growing up. It was close to home. He worked right after school, so it was kind of just convenient for him, right? I think Mount Carmel's something, it's not a choice at the end of the day. I think it's something you're born into. It's something you're born with. Talk about, I bleed brown and white, man. That's what I bleed. I grew up watching those games of Danny O'Brien and Greg Owens, winning state and throwing touchdown passes and running touchdown passes. That's what I grew up watching. And Mount Carmel's always been, the mecca of high school football, right? So I always consider myself a high-level athlete and competitor, and I wanted to be around it. I wanted to be around the best. I wanted to be around the best players. I wanted to be around the best coaches. Most importantly, I wanted people to push me, right? So there was only one other choice in the state, and it was Mount Carmel, and same for my younger brother, Justin.
Yeah, Mount Carmel has a lot of legacies. I know we talked about this on a podcast before, and you mentioned it as well. It's in their blood, right? Like I know we talk about coach, right? The QB right now, Emmett Dowling. His brother was here. I think his uncle's his name is on the stadium. His dad played here as well. It's legacy here. I mean, many other people that was here. I talk about the Greers all the time about how all of their siblings came here. So it's a legacy thing. It's not hard to get kids to come here when they already know that they're going to be coming here from a young age.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge legacy school, right? And there are some kids though that our legacy and end up going to other places. Mm-hmm. So we don't necessarily get 100% of those legacy kids, but the kids like the Dowlings. There's another Dowling coming in next year that's going to be a freshman, right? So and then he's got a younger brother that's going. I think he's in 5th grade. So it's the Dowling's been great for Mount Carmel, and we've been great for the Dowlings also. So it's this school, man, just being a legacy and alumni. That's what makes this place so special. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you mentioned a lot like Mount Carmel recruits itself, and that's kind of one of the biggest conversations. Obviously, everybody's been talking about is the recruiting. And when we come here and we see the facilities and we see how the staff and you are interacting with everybody, it's like a big family. When we were here during game day, people are coming up to us, offering us food, and it's just like the hospitality is unmatched and the environment is unmatched. And so I could understand why a parent would want to send their kid here, or why they would make the effort to go through whatever they have to do to make sure that kid gets this experience, because you won't get it in too many other places, so.
Yeah, this place has been, a second home for me, right? I had a lot of father figures, a lot of mentors, teachers, that kind of helped me along the way with this place, and they're always welcoming, right? Mount Carmel's a place for second and third chances also. There's kids that, you know, mess up and we get them back on track, right? It's developing and trusting the process and not giving up on a kid too, right? But this place is tough on kids, but at the end of the day, we'll put our arm around the kids. But our best, you know, we talk about the word recruiting, right? Everyone in this building's recruited, and if they're not, they recruit themselves to Mount Carmel. Student athletes, you know, it makes up this place, right? More than 60-70% of kids that come here are, you know, student athletes. They get involved in activities, but it's this place is special, man. It's welcoming, but the big thing that we have going for us that people don't really, you know, talk about are the administration staff, the coaches and the teachers, the mentors that make this place up, right? From our president, Brendan Conroy, to our principal, Scott Tabernaky, and our athletic director, head basketball coach, Phil Seagross. Those guys make this place special, man. And they allow me at the end of the day to coach football during the season, and they take care of all the logistics stuff. So it's been a great place to be.
Definitely. You said a bar, man, on a pod that you were just on. You said that you either die quick enough to be the hero or you live long enough to be the villain. And it kind of seems like that's kind of what's happening now. I mean, with all of the success that you all are having, we're seeing more conversations about unfair advantages and recruiting and a lot of different things. And you made a great point, and there was another person that made a great point. You said that people don't understand the work that goes into this. They're not here for the 4 a.m. film sessions and all the things that go into being successful. And another person said, like, hey, a kid could go somewhere else, right? But it doesn't guarantee that they will become the athlete that they become if they come to Mount Carmel, right? And so I think that, well, I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about you kind of being labeled the villain and kind of Mount Carmel was being looked at a certain way because of the success and because of the athletes that attend this school?
Yeah, here's my problem, why I'm so outspoken, I guess, with it, right? Come at me all day. I got thick skin. Doesn't bother me, right? I'm not going to change my approach. But when you start mentioning things that Mount Carmel wins because they get all the talent, this or that, talent doesn't win games, right? It might help you, right? But talent doesn't win games. You got to build a culture and you got to build a standard here, right? So when they make comments like that, you're going at the kids. To me, I take it personal because you're going at our kids. You have no idea the hard work and sacrifice that these kids do to get here, and the off-season program that these kids are leaving at 4 a.m. to get here, and they're consistent and they have 100% attendance. You know, they don't see the stuff behind the scenes. They think these kids are just overnight success stories. They think I'm an overnight success story too, which is crazy to me, right? So I love it. Personally, I love it, and I hope the debate keeps going because the longer as the debate keeps going, I'm going to keep getting super competitive, and I'm going to keep the chip on my shoulder. So you're just creating a beast out there. That's all that's happening. But no, man, these kids work their tails off, man. The only unfair advantage, like I mentioned, is the administration staff that we have, the coaches and the mentors that we have here. No one talks about that. We have so many that make this place so special. So that's an unfair advantage, right? You know, in a good way for us.
It seems like everybody's on the same page too. Like you mentioned, they allow you to coach football, and it's led to a lot of success. I mean, 4 consecutive state championships. How does that feel? Like to start things off before we really dive into this conversation.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. Every year is different, right? Because it's a new team, it's a new journey. It's developing these kids and these kids believing in it, and you know, it feels good. We don't look. I'm different, right? I don't look back and all this and that, man. It's the next step. We celebrate this, we close it off when we have our banquet, and then we're on to the next. The best ring is the next ring we talk about. So we want to move on. We want to keep going. And the great thing here, you know, people talk about we get the best athletes. There's transfers, this or that. Let's talk about all our levels of football, though. It's the first time in Mount Carmel history we've went undefeated in every single level. So you can't say we're not developing and we don't have a foundation here. We got some great coaches and mentors on the lower levels, and these guys are developing these kids and mentoring these kids. By the time they get on varsity, we can hit the ground running. So it's, you know, we have a foundation here, and it's been working way before myself and way before the previous coaches.
Hey,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Let's get into because we mentioned that you played at NIU, had a little bit of stints with the Bears and the Canadian Football League, but when it transitioned over to being the head coach at Mount Carmel, the previous coach was Frank Linty, right? How did you kind of get the opportunity to coach? Because I believe you said you were 26, 27 when you got the job opportunity. Can you break that down? Like, what was it like? What were you doing even before then? I mean, I think you was the running backs coach at NIU, but how did that come about with just getting the head coaching job here at Mount Carmel?
Yeah, it's played football my whole life, right? Always been involved in athletics. Did I know I wanted to be a coach? No, but I knew I always wanted to be involved in something like this in a team setting. It's I love the whole culture building in a team setting and bonding and getting to know and developing relationships, right? So I was playing out in the CFL. I had one more year on my contract. I would come back to NIU and kind of train and help develop some quarterbacks and work with them, things like that. And that's when Rod Carey sat me down for an interview. They had a running backs job that was open. And you know what? It's as hard as it was to kind of step away from the game. I knew I'd still be involved in the game, and I knew long term this would probably be a better spot for me career wise. And I didn't have to. I got the chance to skip the GA process, right? I didn't have to be a GA. I jumped right into a full time running backs coach. So I ended up taking the running backs job at NIU, and it wasn't until I don't know the exact date, but December or so they ended up letting go the previous coach and kind of interviewed me and sat me down and naming me the next head coach here at Mount Carmel. And 26, 27 years old. Sure, there was I don't know if anyone's ever ready to be a head coach, right? But I was a quarterback my whole life, a leader my whole life, and I knew about work ethic and working hard and building relationships, right? That was one of my strong suits. So I knew if I went in with that mindset of just going in, working super hard, I had a lot of great mentors here that helped me along the way when I first took over. And Dave Lenti, Mark Antonetti, and Bill Nolan were three huge mentors for me that coached me and stayed on staff when I took over. So those guys helped me grow a little bit as a coach, develop, and helped me and really held my hand along the way. So I give those guys a lot of the credit early on, and that kind of helped me develop and in growing into this whole what you see now, right? So I'd be lying if I said it was just me, right? But like I mentioned earlier, man, we got a lot of great mentors and coaches around this place that will help you grow up at times.
Okay. What was one of the most like the toughest transition, I guess, from being a player and getting into coaching here, like a young coach? Maybe what was the most difficult thing you had to learn, experience, or is it just a collective of things over time?
Yeah, I was always told by Jerry Kill, if you ever want to get out of coaching, become a head coach, right? Here I am thinking, I didn't know what to expect in high school, right? I had no idea what to expect. I got in there, and here I am thinking it's going to be all, X's and O's and talk scheme and do this. And, you got some teachers out of the building, you got some teachers that are teaching during the day, but it's logistical stuff, right? It's ordering equipment. It's coming up with a practice plan. It's all the unexpected stuff that when I got the job, I wasn't even thinking about. I was thinking about, our roster, what do we have? What kind of offense we're going to run, this or that. And it has nothing to do with that. Right. It's cultural building. It's organizational stuff. It's everything leading up to the game or everything leading up to practice that has to be taken care of, right? So, and like I said, we got a lot of great coaches that kind of really helped me out along the way with building a schedule and having a database and having it being organized of scripting practices and things like that. So I would say that's probably what is the thing that kind of threw me for a shock that, oh man, I gotta learn real quick on this stuff.
Yeah.
And it looks like you have learned a lot of it too. I mean, like I said, 4 consecutive state championships. Obviously next year, y'all going to be going for that 5th one. That'll be the first time done in Mount Carmel history, right?
Yeah, correct. Early 88, 89, 90, 91 was, we call it the Grand Slam, right? They won 4 in a row. Then obviously we just did it this year and, striving for 5.
Definitely. So you have 5 state championships in what is it, 7 years, 8 years?
Yeah, I've been here for 8 years. 5 and 7 sounds really good, right? Because you couldn't win one during COVID, so you kind of got that asterisk next to that season.
Yeah. So for you, I don't know if it's anything that you thought about, but I mean, in terms of a career, you've done more than most high school coaches would do in an entire career, you know? So I just want to know, like, what's kind of next, or what, like, keeps you motivated? I mean, you won a state championship. You've coached some of the best players in the state. They're going to go on and be successful in college. Like, what else is left for you to do? Is there anything that you haven't accomplished as a coach that you may want to accomplish?
Yeah, I think the big thing, what keeps me motivated, is it's not like I get the same team back every year, right? Yeah. I got seniors that graduate, and I got kids that are sophomores going to be juniors, and it's the first time these juniors are going to be in seniors, and they're going to be in the leadership role, right? So winning motivates me, right? I'm a winner. I'm not involved in a lot of stuff in my life. I only get involved in stuff that I know I can be really good at, right? So leading these young men, this new group, into being the best versions of themselves, right? We don't talk about wins or losses here. We don't talk about going undefeated. Talk about winning the Catholic League Blue for sure, and we talk about winning state championships. Everything else along the way is a huge development and developing, and it's a huge process in becoming what we want to be at the end of the year, right? So, and that's why you guys see us, other than East St. Louis, I don't know what other teams in the state are scheduling those tough week 1 games, right? We're trying to schedule tough week 1 and week 2, and we do that for the purpose of, right, we want to show what we're capable of doing against some of these other states, right? But we also want to give these kids, they signed up to be pushed and to play in some competitive games, right? So we want to play those games, and we want to see kind of where we're at. Win or loss, doesn't matter to us. The big thing is you want to get your 5 wins, you want to get in the playoffs. We're going to be better off for it because we're going to be pushed, we're going to be challenged. And that's one of the reasons why we have one of the most playoff points every single year when we go into the playoffs.
Yeah, speaking of playing good competition out of state, that Moeller game was insane, and especially to start the game off. I mean, to start the season off like that, week 1. I remember me and Efe was actually on the phone when the game was happening, like, because he was watching it on. Was it?
It was on Flow Sports.
Oh, Flow Sports. Okay, so we was talking about it, and then when I think that was Nathan Samuel was the guy that got the touchdown. Was it the tie-in touchdown or the touchdown?
It was the
put him down by 1 point.
Yeah.
It was a touchdown to go ahead to make us get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, 2-point conversion. Fa called it. He's like, oh, they going for 2. Like, you have to go for 2 in this situation because, like you said, we're testing ourselves. We're testing how good we really are. And at the end of the day, this is not a conference game. We're just going up against the best opponents and one of the best opponents in the nation. Obviously, the best opponent in the state of Ohio. And going for 2, that set the tone of the season, like right then and there. I think from that moment on, it set the tone, and it was like, we're here and we're about to ride this wave all the way throughout the whole season.
Yeah, absolutely. And credit goes to the kids during that whole process, right? We called the timeout, we scored, and they're like, Coach, after we score, we're going for 2. We're going for 2. And I'm like, I kind of had it in the back of my head, but I'm like, maybe we'll string this out a little bit. But our kids convinced me, man. If I would have kicked an extra point, they would have probably burned another timeout and said, no, we're going for 2. So, and that's just what it is, man. These kids believe here. These kids believe, and that's kind of environment. This isn't my team. This is the kids' team. We're not going to go as far as I take. We're going to go as far as our seniors and our kids take us. So, kudos and credit goes to those guys for sure.
That's very true because, like you said, you bring the kids into the building, but they still have to develop. You still have to. Obviously, you mentioned the staff that you have and everybody that's in the building that helps these kids develop and help the team to have the success they have. But at the end of the day, you're coaching the kids. The kids actually have to go out there and perform. And boy, have they performed this season. I mean, that wasn't the only time y'all were in situations like that this season. I can think back first round of the playoffs when y'all played Loyola, when y'all had y'all backs against the wall at home on this field. And, man, y'all, one thing FAU would say the whole season is that y'all had big play capabilities. And I think that just showed throughout the whole season is that sometimes, you rely on your big players to make big plays for you in moments where it seems that you may not have a victory in sight, and y'all always flushed it out for sure.
Yeah, we've been in, like I said, playing that week 1 game, those tough opponents. It's, we had our backs against the wall that game too. We've been in every single situation you can think of this year. We've been up by 2 scores and blew the lead. We've been down by 2 scores and took the lead. We've been up at half, been down at half, been up in the fourth quarter, down in the fourth quarter, and we came back and, we won 14 in a row and won a state championship. So those are, credit to our kids for believing, never flinching, and believing the journey. It's We always joke around. We're talking before this. I don't think our kids, to be honest with you, even realize how big the moment is at times. So it almost helps us out. You know what I mean? They don't realize how big this moment is, and just the kids that we have, man. There's no flinching. They believe in the journey, and they believe in us. They believe in what we're going to say and what we're going to call, and they buy into it.
Definitely.
I want to ask again, my bad.
Yeah, you good.
So you, as you mentioned, like some of the kids don't realize how big the moment is, and a lot of these kids that were a part of these state championships are going to be back next year. We talk about Quentin Burrell, Marshawn Thornton, Nate Samuels is a junior as well, right? So
Durant Sims, Tavares Harrington,
a lot of the guys. So many guys I'm not even naming right
Roman,
now. Roman,
Caleb Tucker.
Yeah. So what obviously, you said a lot of them are going to be. Quentin Burrell's going to be a senior. Nate's going to be a senior, and they're going to be in more leadership roles. But what positions do you feel like you need to fill for next year? In order to get back to where y'all want to be.
Well, we're missing, right? We're missing some key pieces, but I believe if I really look into it, I think we have 14 returning starters that are coming back, right? And I mentioned
earlier, shut it down.
I mentioned earlier on this show, look at our lower levels. Our lower levels, first time in history, went undefeated. So our lower levels, those kids that are coming up, are going to be key contributors for us. So, no, we have all the pieces right here in the building. And I'm excited to get on our journey in this. We call it Caravan Tough. It's our off-season workout program that starts in January. For 6 straight months, we go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we go at 5:30, 9 a.m. So those kids are waking up early. They're here. And the great thing, we have over 200 kids in the program, right? There's days that we'll have 140 kids here at 5:30, 9 a.m. When we start. There'll be 140 kids here in the building, in the program, on time, ready to go, right? So it's, once again, that's stuff that people don't see, right? And we're not the only team training, right, in the off season. There's other teams training for sure. So we got to do whatever it is to kind of separate ourselves. And it seems like our strength coach, Joe Kubik, has done a tremendous job, and he's been doing it for years, and he used to train me, but he does, he comes up with his slogans. He comes up with the off-season kind of the workouts, and the cultural building really starts there with what he does with the kids.
Definitely. So are you looking forward to anything for next season? We just talked about the players, but is the schedule set? Do you have anything over the summer you guys are planning, any team trips or anything like that, or not official yet?
Yeah, no, what I'm looking forward to is getting in this off-season program, number one, right? But as we get closer to game time and scheduling and things like that, like this, what we kind of got away from in the summertime, right? The IHSA, it was 21 days. I'm not sure what the days are now. We never took those 21 days. We only go 12 days. Because I want to keep our kids fresh, engaged, and we plan on playing 14 games every single year, right? So I want to keep them fresh on the back end instead of burning them out. But we kind of got away from the 7-on-7s. We don't really do 7-on-7s. We do more of the team practices, the joint practices, because that's real football, right? We do real football.
Absolutely.
And we started doing some of those joint practices and a couple a year, which have been really good for us. But we're in talks. I know the AD, myself, we're in talks about week 1 and 2. Nothing's official yet, but we have reached out to some high-level programs that we're about to sign something coming up soon. And hopefully, we've been talking to ESPN also, and hopefully get that first game on ESPN.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
And that was one thing we were talking about because obviously you all are having tremendous success in the state. I mean, was it 17 state championships now?
Yes.
How many times have y'all qualified? It was like third? Something.
Yeah,
It got to be a bunch, right? And we was just saying, like, obviously you guys don't shy away from challenges at all, and as evident with the Moeller game. But is there like an opportunity to play more out of state competition? Because I know East St. Louis does it notoriously. Like I think this year they had about three
or 4, yeah.
Supposed to be 4, I think. Yeah. Does Mount Carmel see that potentially happening in the near future? Maybe.
Absolutely. The thing that's different with like East St. Louis compared to us is East St. Louis's conference is a little smaller, right? So they automatically schedule 8 games for us. So week 1 and week 2 are open for us. So we can possibly only play 2 at the very most, right?
Okay.
So that week 1 and 2, we're trying our best. I'd love to play Coach Sunken down in East St. Louis has been great, man. That guy's always reaching out. We're always trying to schedule something. Sometimes schedules don't always work, but I got high level of respect for that guy, and that guy travels. You know, he's not afraid to travel. He'll travel in the summertime too, which is crazy. But you know, we had talks with East St. Louis, so hopefully we can get them kind of on the schedule either week 1 or 2. And
we need
Yeah,
that.
that's what we was gonna get into. I was gonna say, look,
need
hey,
that.
we
Like,
would love to see it. Like,
obviously, East St. Louis fell short in the state championship against Fenwick, but I still would have loved to see that matchup this year. I would have loved to see that matchup last year. They played Loyola last year, and they kind of, you know, spanked Loyola. But I would love to see that again, like that matchup happen. I know y'all played, what, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, Jesus, it was almost 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Because last year was Hun Prep School out of Princeton, New Jersey. Then the year before that was East St. Louis at Illinois State. So
Yeah, that's a matchup the state need, because obviously, like with all of the rankings that happen in the state, like undeniably the 2 best teams in the state that are consistently going to be the ones that we talk about is Mount Carmel and then East St. Louis down in Southern Illinois. So that would be a game I know I would love to see. That would be a game I know FA love to see. I know that would be a game the whole state would love to see for sure.
but yeah, definitely interested in seeing what you guys got in store. I know you mentioned like ESPN and some contracts coming up. So yeah, I want, you know, Mount Carmel is the standard for football in Illinois, and I kind of hate the disrespect that Illinois football gets. And I just would love to see y'all go to Florida, go to California, Arizona, wherever, and go play some of these good teams, because I feel like that's maybe the reason why Mount Carmel isn't nationally ranked. I know that's stuff that you don't care about as a head coach, but obviously us in media, we want to see Mount Carmel in the top 10, the top 15, because you guys play a great standard of football, have 4 or 5-star athletes going off to Power 5 schools. Like, there's no reason why you guys shouldn't be considered as a top team in the entire nation, you know. But
yeah, it's all about putting Mount Carmel on the map, but also putting Illinois football on the map, right?
Absolutely.
And so I'm always trying to represent the state, especially represent the Catholic League, and just show what we're capable of. And you know, as much as I love scheduling these games, I got our kids in the building that are always press me on scheduling these games, man. These kids want to play in these high level games. They want to be challenged and they want to be pushed. So once again, it's not my team; it's the kids' team, and you know, I believe in them and I respect them. So
yeah. Definitely. Well, last thing I want to get into is one thing that stood out to me. I just, you know, recently had a daughter, 7 months, 8 months now.
Congrats.
I got 2 kids, and thank you. And you're like a big family guy. Like your story, you're posting your kids. The special thing that I saw, I was actually watching a state championship with my girls, and you had your kids on after you won. They were in the post game interview, and they were having fun and smiling and joking. I just want to know, like, how does it feel? And how is it balancing the, you know, football life and your personal life and then the family, and just kind of bringing everything together, because it seems like you keep them heavily involved in Mount Carmel.
Absolutely. I mean, this is such a family atmosphere, and like you guys mentioned, when you came here, you felt it. You know what I mean? You felt it. I know when I was growing up, when my dad would take me to games, I know how that made me feel, right? Spending time with your dad, or spending time with your mom or your family. You never forget, you know, those moments. And as successful I was as a player, as successful I am as a coach, all that stuff's great, right? But being a dad is probably the most important and the biggest thrill I kind of feel, that I love the most, right? And so having those guys on the sidelines, having those guys go to school and getting instant, you know, street cred, and people telling them, oh, I saw, you know, you guys on TV, this or that. Like, I know the smile it brings to them. They love when we win. They're all in. My daughter, Livy, wears nothing but Mount Carmel stuff, and she wants to go to Mount Carmel. You know what I mean? It's Mac, my son Mac, then I got Jackson and Jordy. They're just so, you know, 3 and 2 years old that it's hard for the wife to bring them around, right? Because she's always chasing them around. So you'll see Mac and Liv a lot until the other 2 kind of grow a little bit. You'll start seeing those guys, but that's what it's all about, man. It's all about I know it motivates me, it pushes me. I want them to see a successful dad, and how hard I work. Also, that this stuff isn't easy, right? So I want them to see the behind the scenes stuff, and I bring them to practices and things like that. So it's having them on the field winning the championship, man. There's no greater feeling in the world.
Yeah, that was definitely a dope moment. I think when I was like, oh, yeah, we're number 1. And then I got the video after when y'all were like playing in the snow and they were like in front of you too. That was definitely a cool moment. But like you said, you know, it's a family atmosphere. And I think what's better than celebrating the state championship than celebrating it with your family, especially your kids. So
Definitely. Well, I don't got nothing
Yeah,
else.
I
You
don't
got
got nothing else. I
anything
mean, obviously next year is going to be the year where we want to see, potentially Mount Carmel win their 5th consecutive state championship. As you mentioned, 14 returning starters? That's going to be, everybody's going to be eyeing for y'all. Everybody's going to be coming after y'all, and everybody's probably going to be playing y'all tougher, especially in the Catholic League. I mean, the Catholic League is by far probably I would have to say,
It's not
in
even a
football,
question. It's no
the toughest
conversation.
conference in football for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's just to kind of add on it, right? It's everyone's talking about the 5th state championship, this or that, and pressure's high here, man. Expectations are high. I know it, our kids know it, and there's no other place we'd rather have it. To be honest with you, we like when it's tough. The big thing that we do here, right? Everyone that you mentioned, everyone's trying to get us, and we know that. We're Mount Carmel. We know we're the standard of football in the state of Illinois. Everyone's trying to get us. So we always talk about here is if it's not broken, we better break it. That's what we talk about here. So we better break it. We better try to find a way as coaches, players, mentors, staff, everything, try to find a new way of doing things because people are going to eventually catch on, right? So we got to break our thing, reevaluate what we're doing and find a better way of doing it. And that's every single year. That's every single game. That's every single meeting that we have. We're trying to find a better way of doing it because there's one team out there that's always trying to get Mount Carmel. Whether they make the playoffs or not, if they can beat Mount Carmel, it makes their year. So we understand that. We know that. And that's what keeps us motivated at the end of the day.
which team is that?
Which team isn't that?
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Good answer. But you got anything else, FA?
No, that's it. That's it.
Well, Coach Lynch, appreciate you joining the platform. I definitely would love to see the facility and everything that, this is a great room that we're actually recording this podcast in. But appreciate you for joining us, sitting down, talking to us. And good luck to, everything next season. And, we'll see. Pretty sure we'll see Mount Carmel in the hunt again. So,
Appreciate it. Sorry.
No,
Appreciate
go
you guys, man. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for showing the love, support, and, every single week talking about our kids. And you guys have a huge impact on our kids, man. And I don't think you guys realize how big of an impact you have. By mentioning their names, there's college coaches that watch this, right? Now it gives them a platform of getting recruited. You know what I mean? You guys are helping out so many kids, whether you know it or not, man. So you guys are making a huge impact, and keep pushing. We love you guys. Mount Carmel community loves you guys, and I know there's always going to be haters out there, right? That's but keep doing what you guys do. We love you here, man. So
Sure. Appreciate
you, Coach. Well, this is the off-season podcast featuring head Mount Carmel football coach Jordan Lynch, and we are out.